Oh, hey, how's it going? It's Robert Vincent, and you are here today to join me, hopefully, with Command 10. No, this is the Select class. Command Select, or what we call the kind of the intermediate classes here. And today we're going to be going over Facebook and how to create your first Facebook ad. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Glad you could join me. And let's go ahead and get right into it. I'll start off here by sharing a screen with you. And of course, this is the login screen for Command if you're not familiar with it. This is where we're going to be working today. This and Facebook a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and sign in here. And when we sign into Command, of course, we're taken to our dashboard. So we're going to be starting to think about what it takes to get a Facebook ad published to Facebook. So to purchase that ad on Facebook. So there's a couple of things that we're going to need to do before we actually publish the ad or submit the ad for publishing. And one of those things is, of course, connecting to Facebook. So that's what we're going to first look at here. I'm going to go head over to my profile icon up in here in the top right, and I'm going to slide down to the settings area. So when I choose settings from the settings area, the first thing we're going to be looking for is actually two things. We're going to be looking for Facebook. Now there are two settings in Facebook that you need to connect. And one of them is your post scheduling. So post scheduling is not purchasing an ad though. This is just the connection to be able to post to your social media account, your Facebook account, directly from Command. And so you'll connect it here. If you haven't connected it already, there will be a button that says connect. And then all you have to do is log into your Facebook account. Now remember, this is your personal Facebook account that you're logging into, okay? But you're going to be publishing only and exclusively to your business page. Now, if you haven't created a Facebook business page yet, you'll want to watch the video that I've created on making a business page inside of Facebook. Now, again, this is post scheduling. So that's going to go to your business page and post it on that page. If we come down here a little bit further in the list of things to connect in the integrations area, you'll see the Facebook Ads Manager. Now, the Facebook Ads Manager is going to connect to a Facebook account, your primary account, and it's going to also connect to a Facebook page. Now, a lot of people look at this and say, well, why is it connecting to a Facebook page? The advertising is not going to be advertised on that page. And that is true. When you purchase an ad on Facebook ads, you're going to be purchasing an ad to be displayed on other people's feed in their timeline. All right. They're not going to be posted on your business page. That would be the equivalent of a social post, right? So what we're talking about is putting ads in front of people that we generally have not met. Now, it is entirely possible that when you purchase a Facebook ad, it could end up on someone that you know's feed because of the demographics and the way that Facebook picks the people that it displays the ads to. So that's possible, but that's not what you're paying for. You're paying for this ad to go out to people that you may not have met, all right? So that, again, will require you to connect your Facebook page. Now, you will need to be the administrator on that Facebook page. You need to basically be the person in charge of allowing connections to your Facebook business page. Now, if you have created your Facebook business page yourself and you did it while you were logged in as you, then by default, you're going to be the admin on that business page. If you did not create your business page and you had a marketing agency do it for you or someone else do it for you, you want to make sure that you have been added to that page as an administrator. Now, there is more information available to you on this, and you can do a Google search for how to check to see if I'm an admin on my Facebook business page. So there's a couple things. You can also reach out to me, of course, and I'll be happy to help you do a little Facebook checkup to make sure that you are, in fact, getting the correct information as you move forward. Okay, so those two things need to be done. So we need to connect to Facebook in order to be able to purchase ads on Facebook. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and we're going to go back to the command home page here. Now, on the command home page, what we're looking to do is build our ad and build that and publish it over to Facebook. Now, as with any ad that we create, social media post, any emails that we send out, anything that we do whatsoever, we want to think about the message and what we want to say before we even get into the design of the ad itself or purchasing that ad. Because if we don't know that information when we start, then we're going to be wasting a lot of time going back and forth. So with that in mind, I'm going to create something very simple here, but the rules that I'm using generally apply for all the different kinds of things that you're going to create for your Facebook ad. You're going to want to have some kind of design, or you're going to want to post information about a listing directly from the MLS. So what's the difference? Well, the difference is when we go over to designs in the design area, we can create a design that is built the way we want, with the graphics, the photos, everything the way we want about a listing or whatever it is that we're doing. And we can use that image or that graphic in our Facebook post. You can absolutely do that with a listing or any other event or any other message that you want to send out. You know, keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a listing. It could be an event for advertising, a meetup, or open house. You could purchase an ad for an open house. It doesn't matter. But the idea is we can use the designs within Command to create the look and feel of the graphic. That's option number one. The option number two is to go ahead and create the campaign and have the campaign pull the images from a listing, and we write the ad content, and we use Facebook's ad layout kind of design. Now, that's a very common methodology where you just go in, you select the listing, and then you write the copy. If it's different from the listing copy, if you want to change it around, you can, or you can use the copy directly from the listing. So We're going to take a look at a couple of different things here as we build this ad, and you'll kind of want to take note of what the different methodologies are that you can use to create the message that you're going to use in the advertising. Okay, so let's go ahead and look now on the campaigns page. We'll start here because I'm not going to actually create the graphic in the designs area. I'm just going to use some sample stuff that's already there. I'm not going to go and create it from scratch, but you'll get the idea. On the campaigns page, we're going to come up here to the top, and we have a dashboard. The dashboard, next to that, we have paid ads. We're on the dashboard right now, by the way. We have paid ads, emails, direct mail, and social posts. So those are the kinds of campaigns that we can create in Command. So we're interested in paid ads. So we'll come down here to paid ads, and we'll click on the paid ads header. And now you can see here that I have a bunch of Facebook ads that are in draft mode. These have not actually been published, so you don't actually see the clicks per 1,000 views, the cost per click or the cost per lead clicked and leads. You don't see that information here. You will only see this information populate when you actually run an ad and people are viewing the ad and clicking on the ad and generating leads. So the reason this is because as a non-agent, I'm not going to actually publish an ad here. So this information is kind of like away from where I can go to. However, when we look at the ads themselves, we see the name of the ad. We have a little preview, the status of the ad, the duration that it was running for, the information about the clicks and leads, and the total spend. We also can, on the right-hand side, go in on a draft ad. We can edit it, duplicate it, and we can also archive that campaign. So you want to think about, the name of your campaign before you actually begin this, because you're going to need to give the campaign a name. If you are putting an ad together for a listing, then maybe the listing address would be the name of the campaign. But you'll also notice here that you kind of have a limited amount of characters before it gets cut off. So a lot of people use abbreviations like FB for Facebook, 311 North Mulberry. Something that you can look on this screen to get an idea of what that ad is before clicking on it or before you're going to edit it or anything like that. So up at the top, we see that we can view our paid ads for the last 30 days, how many impressions, how many leads, and how much we've spent. So this is going to give you, based on the 30 days, 7 days, month to date, year to date, and lifetime, and so forth. Now, before we actually create the ad, we need to make sure that we have a payment method so that we can pay for the ad that we're about to purchase. Up here in the top right-hand corner, you see a button for payments. So we'll go ahead and click on payments here. And on the payments tab, we will have the option to add a credit card here or multiple credit cards. By clicking the add payment method, a dialog box pops up here and allows you to select and enter the information about your credit card. All right, once that credit card information has been added, you'll be able to use that card or multiple cards, depending on which ones you want to use here, that will pay for the ads. All right. So now that we've got some of the basics out of the way, we set up our Facebook business page so that we can use that as the advertising hub for our ads. We connected those pages, our personal and our business pages. We've come into the campaign area and we've already determined what kind of ad we're going to run. We're going to do a listing ad for the first one here. We'll just try that out. And then we're going to be using a graphic and information from the listing. So we don't need to actually go back to the designs area and get that information. So we've got some pretty easy work cut out for us here. So I'll go over back to paid ads, and we're on this dashboard now for paid ads, and we're going to create a campaign. So we'll go over on the right-hand side on the top corner and click on Create Campaign. The campaign has the same boxes here for choices that we saw in the menu across the top of the screen. Since we're talking about a social ad, Facebook, we'll choose Social Ad Paid. Now, the first thing that we're going to have to do is give our campaign a name, and why I was saying earlier about choosing a name that makes a lot of sense and something that people can recognize, you can recognize as you're working with the ad. So we'll say that this is Facebook ad listing Actually, I'll even keep it more simple. Facebook, 123 Main Street, Epping. Okay, so this is going to be using the listing tools to advertise a listing for 123 Main Street. So here is the advertise listing option here. And again, we can change this later, but you kind of want to have an idea of where you're going in the beginning. So we'll choose advertise listing. The rest of the options are grayed out here, and we'll come down and we'll say, as we scroll to the bottom, what are the channels, or where do we want this campaign to run? Now, depending on your connections, you can choose Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and those are the 3 purchasable or 3 areas where you can do buys for ads. We're going to do Facebook. We're only going to do 1 here for the example. However, the information generally ends up being the same here. The layout of the ads might be different for each of the different channels. But if you do select multiple channels, as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and select the Instagram channel as well to show you how the ad will look on different channels as we build this. So now that we've got the basic information, we'll click on Create Campaign. And the first thing that we see, because we chose a listing advertisement where we're talking about a listing itself, is this system wants to know the listing. So we need to get our kind of head together here and pick the listing for this campaign. Now, you can search by property address, MLS number, or listing agent. Additionally, now mine is blank because I don't have any listings, so there's nothing to show here. So the only My Listings option right now isn't showing any listings because I don't have any. But if I choose all listings, this is going to go beyond me as the agent, and it's going to show all of the listings that are available in the MLS. Now that's a lot, so we need to search this down and find exactly what we're looking for. Now I happen to know that 123 Main Street in Epping is one of the properties that was in the MLS at one time. So now here you can see that I've got 123 Main Street, Epping, New Hampshire. I'll go ahead and search that. And here we are, 123 Main Street, Epping, New Hampshire. Looks like it's actually been pulled off. Oh, look at that. Who knew? So 123 Main Street is now 169 Main Street. And I'm going to do that one because that one is at the top of the pile here. So we're going to take 169 Main Street. And before I even bring it in, I'm going to copy that there and use that as the title of my Facebook ad. All right, so I'll click on select, and the ad is going to bring in the information for that listing the way it is shown in the MLS. So what you see on the right-hand side in the preview, the text in here is KW Commercial in New Hampshire is pleased to offer for sale, and then there is the information. This is the same information that you're going to find in the main copy text here. This is pulling from the MLS. Now, you can change this information if you would like, if you want to retype this. If you do pull this information out, you will have to kind of re-add the listing if you wanted to return that text to the dialogue here. You can add to it, you can modify it, and you can put whatever you want. You can add emojis to this and so forth. So this is what it looks like on the right-hand side with a Facebook preview. If I choose Facebook mobile preview, this is what it's going to look like on mobile. Now remember, this is so far as we build it. It's not done. We've only started, so it's just so far this is what we've got for look and feel. I can also choose an Instagram ad to see what that will look like. And because I put in the Instagram story, this is what it will look like if it's an Instagram story. So I'll switch back over to Facebook ad web feed so that you can see what it will look like as we build a web version of this campaign. So now notice that the listing area is already completed and it says change listing. So you can update the listing if you wanted to here. That's totally fine. But at the very top where it says name and goal, there's a little checkbox here saying it's already done. But do you remember I said that I wanted to do 123 Main Street, but the actual address that I'm pulling in for this is 169 Main Street. So I'm replacing the campaign name so that it matches up with what I'm actually trying to advertise. And as I mentioned when we first started the campaign, I said that, the goal itself, we can always change that later. And here is where we can do that. So if I've decided that I wanted to do multiple listings, I could change it over. I could do different attract listings. I could do whatever I want here and change the type of campaign. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and leave it on that single listing, and we'll go forward. So now the text area here, let's go back into the text area and let's complete the text area. And I know that it needs to be complete because there's a circle to the left of the text header here. It does not have a checkbox in it like the name and goal. So I'm not finished. Now, as I scroll down here and look at the information that they're asking for, one of them is headline. And over on the right-hand side in the graphic, there is a section for headline. So in this case, we're going to say that this is commercial property available in Epping. And there is a 25 character limit. As you can see, it cut it off at avail. So we want to make sure that we keep it in the headline kind of mode here. So instead of putting in a long sentence or something like that, we're going to say, check out 169 Main Street, Epping. And see, it only put in the E there. So it didn't even make it that far. So how about we go with something... I'm trying to read the... close to everything for your business. Now, see, that's too much. Too many characters. I'm like the guy who can't do the crossword puzzle, even when somebody said it's only 4 letters. Cool property. There it is. Good enough for me right now. Now, in the description area here, we can go a little bit more. We have 250 characters. Now, remember, we already have the main copy from the listing itself from MLS. So what is the difference here for description and main copy? Well, if you take a look here, it says description will be shown in some placements. What this basically means is that if the description field is precedent over the main copy field, this is what's going to be shown. So you could kind of put the same thing in here, or you could spice it up by putting something a little bit different in here. You have 250 characters, the same that you have in the main copy area. So I'll add some copy here. I'll make it a little bit different so that we can see the difference as we go forward. Great commercial property in New Hampshire, Epping. Let's try that again. Great New Hampshire property, Epping. Commercial property stuff. I'm trying to be cool by using dictation, and clearly it's not going well. But here it is. My dictation is picking up everything that I'm saying. And at the same time, it's also counting down how many characters I have, and I've probably passed it already. So there's my 250 character limit right there. And I'm not doing that again. So you get the idea. You can have fun with trying to find that and fit that into your 200 characters. But notice that we have the description of the main copy at the top now, and we have the description at the bottom. So these are good ways to kind of add information that you maybe didn't have in the MLS. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and hit save here. So the text is done, and you can see it lighting up on the right-hand side what it looks like. The next thing we're looking at here is the Facebook and Instagram settings, and because I did choose Instagram, it needs to know how I'm going to connect. Now, when you come in here, one of the things that you remember we talked about with the connections to Facebook, we're going to be connecting to a Facebook account. That is your personal account. All right. But we also need to designate which one of the business pages that you moderate or are the admin on, and which one of these this advertising is going to be tied to. So we're saying this ad is coming in representation from this page. So I have a Robert Vincent Real Estate page here, and it's going to connect to that Robert Vincent Real Estate and say that's the primary kind of authority for this advertising. The next thing down here, it says, are you putting this in an Instagram's feed or a story? So you can place it in a feed or a story here. So if you choose story, it's going to put it into a story, and the default is feed. Okay. So now the next thing on our talk right now is probably one of the more confusing things for people, but I want to make sure that we understand exactly what's being discussed here. So the next question is destination. and it says underneath there are two options. One says Facebook lead generation form recommended, and one says site or landing page. To understand what's actually being talked about here, you have to remember that when somebody sees the ad on their page, their goal is to click it. So the click is going to take them somewhere. And this is going to determine where they're going to go. Now, the two choices, Facebook lead generation form or a site or landing page, the best choice in most cases is for you to choose Facebook lead generation form and have Facebook automatically capture the information. So I'll go ahead and push this through here. I'll do my little accept. Yes, yes, yes. And I'll do it for all my pages while I'm here. There we go. Okay, so we've accepted it. We are good to go. All 3 pages are done. Okay, so I can go ahead now and close this page. And you typically won't see that, but if you do, that's what that's doing is logging you in. Okay. So what we want to do, again, I'll back up a little bit. So when somebody clicks on this Facebook ad, we want to capture their information. The Facebook lead generation form is the best way to capture their information because Facebook is going to automatically transfer that information to you, and it's going to add all of the leads to your command account. This is all automatic. So it's going to tell you that you have a lead. It's going to put those leads into your database, and it's going to inform you that you've got those leads. We want this to happen. Now, if we choose this site or landing page option, Facebook is not going to be involved, and they will not collect the information from the people who've clicked on the ad. It'll be your responsibility, which means you will need to create a capture page to get that information. And if you don't have that, and if you're not savvy enough to build one, you may end up losing leads. And if you're going to buy leads and buy advertising, then you want to make sure you get the most from it. So in most cases, you're going to want to use the Facebook lead generation form. Now, the next thing here is the button label. And the button label is over here. I'll slide up so you can see it in the ad itself. This is where it says learn more off on the right-hand side of the ad. So right now it does say learn more, and that's the choice. So there are 3. There are learn more, sign up, and apply now. So those 3 different types of button callouts are your choices. So you can't modify them and you can't change them. Those are the 3. So learn more is the logical one for a Facebook real estate ad. Then it asks you down here is, okay, so now they've clicked on your Facebook ad, and Facebook has captured their information, and that information is now being sent over to your database. Now, what do you want to do with them? Keep in mind, your advertising said, check out this beautiful property. We want to sell this to you. So, let's get in touch and let's do this. All you've done at this point so far is collected their information, but now you got to give them some kind of reward. And the reward or the payoff for them is to see more information about this property, or be taken to a video or some kind of informational page that is going to give them more to look at for their click. So they want to show them something. So we're going to pause here and talk about what we can put in this little box. So we have a choice. We can put in here any web address that we want, with the exception of going back to Facebook, because that doesn't make sense. But we can put in here a link to a page containing information about this property. Do you remember when we talked about in the very beginning of the Command 101 courses, we said that your command program has a tool in it for your consumer app, right? Well, one of the things that you can do is build landing pages for properties that you can use in these type of advertisements. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a separate little tab here, and I'm going to jump back into Command, but I'm going to leave the Facebook ad alone for a moment, and I want to show you how powerful Command actually is. I'm going to take a Command here back to the home page. I'm going to go down to the consumer applet in Command. And on the consumer applet, we land in here, we have agent site pages, and we have landing pages, and we have guide builder. So these are the three main tabs. The agent site pages is for your agent website. The landing pages is an area where you can build a single standalone web page that you can then use that address of that web page in any of the marketing or anything where you want to take people to a temporary, and I say temporary because I don't mean that it's, like fleeting and shuts off by itself. But what I mean is it's a temporary site where it represents current data that's valid for a particular period of time. One of the things that you can do in here is you can actually go ahead and select a page to represent a piece of property, a landing page for a listing. And this is very, very powerful to allow you to put together a custom built page that has all of the information that anybody would need to come to look at this property, including all of the MLS images, all of the details, and in anything else that's in the MLS. This is really important because what we do here is we give them a treat, a prize, a payoff for clicking on that ad in Facebook. And we've already captured their information. So you're going to have to build this page before you begin building your ad in Facebook, because you can see here that it's now asking us for that page. Now, yes, I can go into another tab. I could save this thing and do that. But this is that whole thing about the process of preparing to build your Facebook ad. So when you come in here, you should have this already done. And there's actually something else we should have done, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So I'm going to choose an existing landing page from one of my landing pages that I have already built. So here I'm going to come down and say, okay, the one that I want, here is a listing of 123 Main Street that I made a while ago. So I will go ahead and put that landing page in there, and I've selected it from my library of landing pages, and it verified that that landing page is good, and it's all set to go. Now I have some place for them to go after I've collected their information. Let's slide down a little bit further here, and let's talk about our audience. Who are we reaching out to with this ad so that we can basically get the leads? So when we look at this section here in audience, it says define who should see your ad. Your audience is automatically, it's set automatically, but it can be customized. So the default is that it's going to put this ad to Facebook users who are within a 20-mile radius of Epping, New Hampshire. So it's going to try and find as many people that are kind of like in Facebook's own algorithms, the right candidate to see this ad and within 20 miles of Epping. Now, if that's not what you want to do, maybe here's a good example of how you would want to customize your target market for this advertisement. Let's say you're advertising a ski chalet or a ski lodge or a ski cabin in, on Sunday River, or maybe up at Cannon Mountain, or one of the beautiful mountain resorts here. You could say, all right, well, I could put this ad in 20 miles of Sunday River, 20 miles of the mountains here, but why don't I put this into an area that I know that people tend to want to buy this kind of property? Maybe I want to put this in Boston or one of the suburbs of Boston, so that it's targeting those people to purchase a getaway home in New Hampshire or Maine. So to do something like that, we would click on Use Custom Settings. When we choose Use to Custom Settings, we can say, all right, we're going to target a custom audience, or we can actually target our database too, but we're going to focus on targeting a custom audience. So here we're going to say, yes, I want to do it in the US, not Epping though. I want to go with Boston, Massachusetts. So I'll choose Boston here. Hopefully, there we go. West Boston, Boston, Massachusetts, it's fine. I'll just keep it real simple. And I say that I want to go 20-mile radius around Boston. Perfect. Now I'm targeting these people for a piece of property that is in the White Mountains. Gorgeous. Then I can even go down further here to include people who have generally expressed interest in particular activities. Skiing, maybe? So maybe I'll say, you know what? Of those 20 miles in the Massachusetts area, I am only interested in finding people who like skiing. So it's going to search through. It's going to hopefully ski comes up here. Really? Let's try. I can't imagine skiing is not. How about snow? That doesn't seem right at all. All right, I'm going to go down here and see what I've got. How about winter? Maybe winter sports? I cannot believe. How about hiking? Jeez. H. If hiking is not in here, how is that even possible? All the times that I've done this and just kind of picked random things, the one time I'm trying to be specific about people's specific interests, it's not showing up there. How about vacation homes? Hey, vacation rentals. All right, at least it's not homes, but it's rentals, and that'll do for my purposes. Something. I'll go ahead and click save now. Now, what it's actually trying to do is say, okay, within the 20-mile radius of Boston, I want to see if any of those people in that area are interested in vacation rentals. I want to target this property to them because maybe they'll buy it and turn it into a rental. All right. So now that we've done that, I'll go ahead and hit save on that one section. And what did I forget? It looks like I forgot something here. I didn't forget anything. Yeah. Feed, button, that, location, US, Boston. Interesting. Now, if you do see this, it's telling you that fields are required, although I believe that I have filled out all of these fields, and I can't see any reason why these are now going that way. So let's see if we can do this one more time. Got the target database here. At least one ad targeting must be selected. Yep, oh, that makes sense. All right, location, United States. Please select. So I did say Boston. Massachusetts. All right, let's see if that accepts it now. You gotta love Facebook, huh? You gotta love this. Let's say, okay, all right. How about we pull this out here and say that we're not going to do custom settings. I'm wondering what's going on here with that. I have no idea. All right, well, there you go. So that allowed me to get out of there. So for a moment, we'll, again, because of the interest of time, and I don't want to play around with that, so let's assume for a moment that everything went fine and we didn't have any problems. If you do have any problems with that, reach out and let me know and I can help you out with that. All right, so now that we've set our Facebook and our Instagram settings, let's go down here to lead settings. And in the lead settings area, what we're trying to do here is what happens when the leads actually come back to us from the campaign itself. So the idea is this is actually a brand new tool here, by the way. This is a great tool that they've just added, and it's incredibly valuable to save you time. So the first thing we need to know is what happens to your leads that come into the campaign. Do you want to automatically tag them with a pre-built tag or a custom tag? And yes, absolutely we do. We want to do a Facebook ad. Let's see, with a Facebook ad 123 Main Street. So this way, by creating a a tag or adding a tag from our database, we will be able to see all of all of the leads that come in from this campaign, and we can group them all together and we can market to them based on that specific ad. Okay. The next thing is we can say, okay, now that we've given it a tag, do you also want to assign a smart plan to these people that come in? And the answer is, why, yes, of course we do. We want to reach out immediately to them as quickly as possible and let them know that we would love to talk with them and give them more information, either about the property or about us, or in some way connect with them. Now, you do need to build your smart plan before you select it here, because obviously this is not going to build it right inside the Facebook ad builder. So you will have to create your smart plan for this particular advertisement, or if you've got a generic smart plan that applies to all of your Facebook ads that doesn't specifically reference an address, then you can attach that here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and add one in here just so that you can see what it looks like. So we have a tag that's automatically going to tag our contacts when they come in. And we have a smart plan that is automatically going to kick off for every one of the people that comes into our campaign lead. That's pretty powerful stuff right there. I'm absolutely thrilled that they've added that. So the last section here is the duration and the budget. Now, in the duration of budget, this is pretty easy and pretty self-explanatory. It's like, when do you want this ad to start and how long do you want it to run? And the default here is to set it for 10 days. It always starts the day after you build this ad, because Facebook does need to make sure that they take a look at it. You have a total budget here. So in this case, the default is $30, giving you a daily cost per channel of $1.50. I mean, that's pretty darn good. I don't think you can get things that cheap anywhere. Then it says here, you have 2 channels selected. So if you have more than one channel, you say, okay, do I want to distribute this evenly across both channels? Or do I want to use placement for Instagram, Facebook ads and do something a little bit different with the distribution? And you can choose to do different distributions on your ad spend. I like the default because it just kind of does it for you and it'll take care of that. So your total of $30 is a 10-day $1.50 a day per channel. How cool is that? When you are all done here, you can go ahead and click save, and that will save the ad. Now, a couple of things to remember here is the legal requirements for compliance. Now, I've got my little KW logo in the corner, and I've got each office is independently owned and operated, so my legal statement here. If you do not have that information in your ad, compliance will not allow it to go through. So make sure that you put that information in, run this ad by compliance, let them know what you're doing, and if they have any questions or concerns, they can reach out to you and get you squared away. Okay. Now, finally, I would hit publish campaign to push this campaign out after I'm done and it's all gone through compliance. I'll hit save draft for right now. I'll hit save as draft, and that will take me back to the campaign page. So at this point, it is ready to go. It's all set. You got your 169 Main Street is the name of my ad, and it's got the 10 days, and it's all set to go. And as all of my ads are right now, they're all in draft mode. So that's how we create a Facebook ad in Command. Now, there are, as I mentioned, a couple of different kinds of the Facebook ads. So let's go ahead with the paid ads again. We'll click on the create campaign. We're still going to do a social ad. This one I'm just going to call test because I want to show you the different kinds of ads that we can create. So I'll just go with a Facebook one, real simple, create campaign. And I'll say that the first goal I'll say event awareness first, so I can get right into it. So it's going to show me my legal graphic here. And it's going to say, okay, so your name and your goal right now, you've chosen event awareness. So in the event awareness, what we're really talking about here is you're going to put your own graphics in here. You're going to put your own media in here because we're not using a listing image. So you'll want to select your media from your designs. This is what I was talking about earlier. So whenever we're building something that we're going to be using our designs for, we need to create those designs first so that Facebook, when we get to this part here, we can click on it and say, do we have any of the images or in our design library already ready to go? And also videos as well. So these things we need to think about before we begin the process of building our ad so that we don't spend a lot of time in here going, oh, whoops, I forgot to do this, I forgot to do that. So whenever you're creating your Facebook ad, no matter what the goal is, you want to start thinking about the message itself and make sure that you have the correct media before you begin this. So if you want, brand awareness, if you want to do that, you're still going to use graphics, attracting talent, the same thing, attracting buyers, attracting listings. You're going to be using graphics for these. The only ones that require listings or have the option to use listings are the advertised listing or the advertised multiple listings. And you'll see, by the way, the advertised multiple listings is grayed out right now. You have to pick that on the front page and pick the multiple listings before you come to this page so that they're already in there. So you can do that, but it needs to be done before you come to this page. Okay, so that kind of takes care of all of the different things that we can do within a Facebook ad campaign. Now remember, when an ad is finished, what you're going to see is the campaign is going to start to come back to you. If you come over here to your paid ads, you'll see on this page, you're going to start to see these numbers and you'll see the information in here light up. Now, when that does, all of the leads are going to show over here as a quantity. So maybe 10, 15, 20, 100 leads. When you click on that, it's going to take you to a page that allows you to review the leads, look at the contact information, and then make sure that you're reaching out to them. You could also add additional tags at that time and add them to different smart plans if you wanted to. Each of those leads is going to also come into your database. So if you come back over here to your contacts area, you will now see each of those leads from the notification bell at the top. It will tell you that you've got new leads, and you can click on each of those names and go to those leads and work with them. Group them together by the Facebook tag ID. Put anything you want to do in there to group them together so that you're making sure that you reach out to all those people, in addition to adding them to smart plans. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys got some good information. It is Thursday, so we're done for the week with the command classes. Remember, next week we're going to be continuing and going into Command 101. The classes for next week are, I should have set that up before I came in to talk to you. So next week, the command classes are Smart Plan Foundations on Tuesday morning, and then Opportunities and Opportunity Pipelines on Thursday morning, and that's the 101 classes. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope you have an awesome day, and we will talk to you soon. As a matter of fact, before I go, remind you once again that the ways that you can contact me here are Robert Vincent, and it's robert.vincent@kwclm. You can book time on my calendar at timewithrobert.com. You can meet me in the Zoom room when we schedule a time together. The Zoom room that we meet in is always the same. It's kwtechtv.com. Then, of course, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch a replay of this video, and that is kwtechtube.com. And then finally, the group that we're in right now on Facebook Live, and that is facebook.com/groups/KWCLM. Hope to hear from you soon. Once again, thank you very much for joining me today. Have an awesome day and an awesome weekend coming up, and we will talk to you soon.